Hey, I'm Tyler James Williams, and this is Creech Questions.
Hey, I'm Parker Wierling. You're listening to Creech Questions.
Welcome back, everybody, to Creech Questions. I am your co-host, CJ Creech, and this podcast is brought to you in part by The Dead Connection. And the background is East Virginia by the band The Irma and Louise. And if you like this song, you can check out more of their music at theirmalouise.ch. Now, you may have noticed that I did say co-host. I do have a new co-host. You may have heard me talk about it last week, and she is here live via telephone. So who would this be?
It's Alyssa. Hello, guys.
Yes, it is Miss Alyssa Milan, who you may remember from our Walking Dead wrap-up, and a former guest on the show. She's a multiple-time walker on The Walking Dead who's been killed by many of the greats on the show, like Daryl, Rick, and Andrea.
Yep.
And, yeah, so now you are co-host. Are you excited?
I'm so excited. It's going to be so much fun.
Exactly. And speaking of fun, let's do some shout-outs.
You give me a gift, bam, thank you note. You invite me somewhere, pow, RSVP. You do me a favor, wham, favor returned. Do not test my politeness.
My one and only shout-out this week is actually going to be to Dave Solo from Walker Nation. He just recently got approved for press credentials through AMC and is also going to the media event to cover the Orlando's the Universal Horror Nights, and it's it's a pretty big thing. I'm really stoked for him and glad for him, so I want to give him a shout out and say congratulations. Now, Miss Alyssa doesn't have any shout-outs for us this week, but she has some even more important things to say, mainly pertaining to the state of Atlanta in, say, October 30th, or I believe it's the 30th, through November 1st?
Yes, I think so.
Where will you be?
I will be at Walker Stalker Con Atlanta.
Oh, you don't say. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, she's actually going to be joining us as part of the Creech Creative team. So we'll be walking, no pun intended, around the convention center. And, we're actually going to have a walker. Now, I can't neither confirm or deny at this point that Alyssa may or may not be in makeup.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I can attempt it. I don't know if I'm on their level.
She may be a walker. She may be Tomb Raider. Only time will tell.
Ooh, yes, choices.
And also, I've been talking about that I had gotten some recent news, and that news is that now Creech Questions and Creech Creative is going to be in New York City / New York / New Jersey in December, the first week of December for Walker Stalker Con, New Jersey and New York.
Yay!
Yes.
Yay! I'm so excited for you.
Yes. Unfortunately, Alyssa won't be joining us on that one, but we're actually going to have professional wrestler Tristan King as our third for this journey. So
there you go.
We're sticking with the W's and going from a walker to a wrestler.
There you go.
All right, and speaking of walkers, that leads to a perfect segue for our Walking Dead wrap-up, where we talk about Episode 2 of Fear the Walking Dead.
This is all connected. You show up. And now 3 of us are gone.
Why'd you bring us here?
So, I must say, that was honestly a really crazy episode.
It was. I feel like it's a volcano, like, ready to explode. Like, they were just waiting for this eruption, because it just builds up so nicely. I love it. The realism in the show, it kind of drives me crazy. Like, I literally sit on the edge of my seat, like, oh my gosh, what is going to happen?
Yeah, same here. And it's weird because most of the reviews or podcasts, and actually people I talk to that I work with that know I do, I'm approved for press through AMC, they're like, man, that show's so bad. I mean, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I'm really enjoying it, and I do think, I mean, there was actually a scene at the end of this episode that, I don't know why it affected me. It was when everything started going down outside the window, and the daughter was going to go out to help the neighbor, and the mother was like, "No, you're not going out there." I don't know, and like that was rough to me. That I don't know. That affected me.
I know what you mean, because I kind of watched it. It'd be like almost because the daughter doesn't know what's going on, and so like, to tell her, no, you can't go out and help that woman that needs help, it's kind of like, as a mother, kind of hurts your heart, because your daughter is thinking, like, why would my mother, let this happen to this woman outside? So, yeah, it's going to be, I wonder if it will cause any tension between them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, she definitely wants to get back to her boyfriend, who's not long for this world, because he's definitely been bitten.
Oh, yeah.
And who knows? I mean, hopefully we'll also pick back up with Tobias, because he's went off on his own. Maybe he's going to start his own little army of people to kill walkers. I'm really surprised he didn't wind up joining with... I'm still really bad at these names. But the main lady, I'm really, really surprised he didn't. I mean, granted, he was probably like, this chick don't know how to survive. She wanted to take away my neck.
Well, I mean, she got that guy off of him, so, I mean, she did save him.
She did, and I'd like to point out that we were correct that the Obama guy did die in the second episode.
Yes, you did call it. You were right.
I knew he wasn't long for this world. Just had a feeling.
Yeah, definitely not. That was pretty scary. I don't know how she was like, we'll get you help. And it's like, okay, he's so clearly like beyond help. I mean, how would you even think that this person is doing okay?
Yeah, I mean, and especially if, I don't know, it's been a couple days since I've seen the episode. I know she hit him in the head with a fire extinguisher, and I could have sworn in between the shots that she was like still talking to him. Like after the first time she hit him in the head and he fell down, I could have sworn she was like, "Oh, let's get you help" or something still. And I'm like,
oh my god. Well, I don't remember. Let's hope she didn't. That'd be kind of weird. Yeah. Dang. Hey, I know you're probably hurting, but should we get you help?
Yeah. Now, the one thing that made me mad about this episode was the credits when they said it wasn't coming back on for 2 weeks. Do you think?
Oh my gosh.
Do you think that's going to help or hurt the show, especially at this point?
Well, I think a lot of people are already on the fence, which I don't understand that. I don't know why. I don't understand why people are on the fence, but they are. Some people. So I think people are already like that, and then to take this break, I think that, I think it might stop people. I mean, it's not going to stop me. I mean, they have me wrapped around their fingers, so I mean, they could be like gone for 4 weeks, and I'd be sitting right back there when they came back. So, yeah, I don't know. It might hurt them.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, and I don't know why they. I know at some point during production that they had moved filming from California to Canada. And I don't know if that was the reason why they delayed, why there's this week delay in between episodes, or if they're just trying to stretch it out to make sure it'll end around the time The Walking Dead season 6 premieres.
Well, I think someone said that, and that would make sense, but if that's the case, why wouldn't they just start the show a little bit later so that they wouldn't have to take a break? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, it just seems weird. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I definitely agree. I think, I don't know, because even though I remember The Walking Dead, the first season when it aired, I mean, there was no breaks, and it was the same amount of episodes. So I feel like something happened. Either when they originally announced the release date for Fear the Walking Dead, they hadn't officially settled on a date for the season 6, so maybe they might have had to readjust, or maybe it was just that they had to give it a delay because they had to move the filming to Canada.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know. When I heard that, I was not happy. But then someone said that, maybe they're stretching it out, like you said, to the Walking Dead season 6, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I'm not so mad, but, now they've got me hooked for 2 episodes, and now I don't want to wait anymore. That's unfair.
Yeah, I would have much rather, honestly, them do the delay after the first episode than the second episode, because I feel like the first episode would have been self-contained enough where it started to get crazy a little bit, but by the end of this one, it was really getting into what was going on with the riots and everything, and I'd much rather have waited a week not knowing about the riots and everything than now having seen everything and dealing with that. Now, we also called that he was going to go back to get his, Travis was going to go back to get his other son. We did call that.
Yeah.
And I just say I hope his other son, not Nick, but his other son gets eaten.
Really? You don't like him, huh?
I don't. I'm just like, this dude's just, I'm a part of it now. This is too big. I'm just like, dude, really?
Yeah.
That's not a good idea even
Yeah,
that's not even a good idea even like not in a zombie apocalypse to be a part of like a mob like that. So I'm just...
It can get very dangerous. It almost seems like the stuff going on between his parents, he's trying to prove something. Maybe that, I don't know, because we know they have a bad relationship, so maybe it's really strained, and he's just trying to prove himself as, like, I don't know, kids do strange things.
They do strange things, and they record. I don't ever recall him having that camera until he had the camera.
He must just keep it in his backpack for, just in case.
Yeah, I know. He's apparently an amateur filmmaker or something.
No kidding.
That was like a big product placement moment, too. It's like, ooh, he's using the brand new Sony cam. Buy yours now.
Yeah. That seems pretty intense, though. And did you notice the cutaways to the airplane? Since they're going to have, like, this little standalone thing with the airplane.
I didn't notice that, but I heard that they did do that, and I had read, I believe it was Entertainment Weekly that was talking about that there was that, it's like a web series or something, that one of the characters are going to spin off and become part of Season 2?
Yeah, that's exactly what I read. So that should be interesting. Yeah, at the very beginning when they're in the car and they're driving back and Nick's listening to the radio, it's not too long after that he looks up at the sky and it's like super quick. It's like 2 seconds. But they made it a point to show it, so...
That is very true. I swear, the plotting that goes into these shows are just insane. Just how much detail that they put into every episode.
Oh, I know. It's the same with like these calls that people are getting. I don't know. Whoever's behind all this stuff is genius, I tell you.
Oh yeah, the Woodbury is waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because apparently they're starting back again. Because I know it was originally the original calls were to promote the Road to Woodbury or the game, and now apparently as of yesterday, people are starting to get calls again.
Yes, I got the call and it left me a voicemail, and it wasn't like the other ones. It was someone on the line. I couldn't make out what it said. I have to listen again, but yeah, it was definitely different. Wonder what it's for.
I don't know. Speaking of that game, how are you doing on this game?
I think I'm okay. I haven't joined any factions, but yeah, it's definitely addicting. I like all the stuff you do. I didn't have much faith in like mobile games, but I played this one and it's pretty impressive. So I like it.
Yeah, and that's our cheap plug of the night for Skybound's new Walking Dead game. But yeah, I've been playing it too, and I mean it's good, but like we were talking about the other day, it's really hitting me now. Where everybody's like just coming over and raiding, and I mean occasionally I'll fight them off, and those times I'm like, it really makes me question how bad the other person was to actually beat or to not beat me. But I haven't had that, even the joy of knowing that my characters beat somebody for a long time, because now I'm just getting destroyed by everybody.
I know. I came back one day and it's like, you've been raided by so-and-so, and I was like, are you kidding? Like, it made me kind of mad. I was like, and then it says you can get revenge, and I was like, oh, that's perfect. I'm going to.
Yeah, I plan on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing revenge too, and now I'm just like, I give up with the revenges, because now there's too many people to revenge. There's just like I'll go somewhere for 10 minutes and come back, and 15 people have raided me, and like I'm like I have nothing left.
You're like, all right, that's enough now.
I'm like tempted to like maybe create a new account on a different phone and just see if there's some attack CJ's base button on there, because I swear everybody's hitting this thing.
Well, it's because after missions, they're like, okay, we'll raid people to get such and such so you can do the mission. So and people are just like constantly raiding people because of it.
You're like, let's raid CJ. Because I'm pretty sure I can log on to my game right now, and I've probably been raided 15 times because people hate me.
No.
And I think, you know what, I honestly think I have a good team. I have Michonne. Oh, look, I just logged in and it says I've been attacked while I was gone, and I lost.
Oh, darn it.
Yeah.
I had hope.
Yeah, my team's not too bad. Actually, I don't have Michonne. I don't know why. I saw her on the app. I think that's why. I have Glenn, I have Carol, I have Tyrese, Lori, and Andrea.
Oh, wow, you have quite the crew.
Yes, I'm really glad that I have Lori, even though no matter what, I think the hatred of her character carries over to the comic fans as well, because even on rounds where I win, it seems like if I lose somebody, they always kill Lori. She's always the one that dies.
Oh, no. Poor Lori.
Just no love for Lori. I'm really excited to see where it's going to go. And not this week, but next week. I really think I think by the end of the next episode, we're going to have our first main character death.
You think so?
I do. I think I think one of the characters, and I'm hoping it's the son, is going to die. Is going to die in that I don't know, that building.
They're like in a barber shop, aren't they?
Yeah,
they get away in a barber shop.
Yeah. There's at least
which that will be interesting to see how they get out of there, because they're smack dab in like downtown. Like that's crazy. That'd be really scary.
Yeah, right. Central.
Yeah, there's like, oh man, that's gonna be trouble getting out of there.
Yeah, and then they showed. It looked like a walker peering through the opening, and and the preview. So yeah, I don't know how they're gonna to get out of there, bar some miraculous Walking Dead or not Walking Dead, Dawn of the Dead situation where they build a bus somehow.
Yeah, somehow.
they MacGyver a bus out of the barbershop stuff. And then
yeah,
smash through it.
I think we're ready.
I mean, I must say though, I would actually be willing to see that. If
That would be kind of interesting.
It's like, grab this pole and this seat, and we're gonna make a bus.
Yeah, we're gonna get out of here alive, hopefully.
And I think, I mean, as long as it doesn't lose fans, I mean, I feel like we're already guaranteed a season 2 because AMC already announced it. I mean, technically, if it didn't do good numbers, they could be like, we're not going to do that. But I think they're committed enough to actually...
I don't know what it is. Is it people are just so, like, protective and dedicated to the original show that, like, anything else, they think it's, like, kind of like a poser or something, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know why people were so apprehensive about this show. Like, I don't know. I always knew it was going to be good. I had no doubts, and it's so good as far as I'm concerned. But I know people are like, want the action that season 6 already has. But I mean,
yeah, I mean,
you don't always get that.
And I was actually the other way around. Originally, when they first announced it, I was against it. I didn't think it was a good idea, and I didn't think it'd be any good. I honestly didn't even care about it until I actually saw the first trailer that they showed at Comic-Con. And then I was, after that, I was like, okay, this may be interesting. And then in rewatching it, episodes 1 and then watching episode 2, I've really enjoyed it. Way more than I thought I would.
Yeah, it's definitely different, but I like it.
Now, speaking of The Walking Dead, we've got some interviews this week that we did down in Orlando. The first one coming up is with Tyler James Williams, who everybody knows because they apparently hated his character Chris, and as the Walkers know because they ate Chris.
Oh.
So yes, we are going to go with Tyler James Williams, a.k.a. Noah, from Season 5 of The Walking Dead.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Creech Questions. I'm here with Tyler James Williams. He played Noah on The Walking Dead, and thank you for taking some time.
Awesome, man, yeah.
All right, and the first question is going to be, how would you compare the fan base from Everybody Hates Chris to the fan base for The Walking Dead?
That was night and day. It's completely different, when you're talking about like the comedy genre versus the horror genre. I think it's just a bit more cult. It's a bit more of a cult following for this show, where Chris was just a general appreciation.
All right.
Yeah.
And you're now on Criminal Minds, right?
Yeah, Beyond Borders, yeah.
Okay. And you've been in The Walking Dead. Everybody Hates Chris. What would you say has been your favorite character to play out of your career so far?
It's typically the latest ones for me. I think, Noah meant a good amount to me. But then it's probably going to, change as I get more into Monty and that character for that. It's usually the last ones that I play that mean the most to me.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, sir, for taking some time.
Appreciate it.
All right, and next up is our interview with Parker Wierling, who played Asthma Boy on Season 3 of The Walking Dead.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Creech Questions. I'm here with Parker Wierling, who played Asthma Boy on The Walking Dead. We got a couple questions for you. Thank you again for taking the time to be on our podcast. First question I'm going to ask you about is actually over here. What can you tell us about The Fifth Wave?
Well, if you don't know, The Fifth Wave is a book that they're turning into a movie. It stars Chloe Grace Moretz, and my character, his name is Jeremy. He's actually friends with Chloe's character, Cassie, and this is all happening before the apocalypse of the book. So we're basically friends before everything goes down.
Okay. And from your time on The Walking Dead, is there any funny stories that you remember from the set?
I'm trying to think. There was one where T-Love and Jose Pablo Cantillo, one of my scenes was when they're debating whether I should go fight or not. And when we filmed it, they cut it out actually. But what I ended up doing was like going with the guys to fight, and Andrea and Melissa Ponzio's character are like, no, they told me to come back, and they would grab me and bring me back. But one time, Jose and T-Love told me, don't go back. No matter what they say, just come with us, just to piss them off. So I ended up doing that, and they had no idea what to do. And then they ended up, like, she grabbed me and, like, threw me around. She's like, no, come back, my baby. So that was a really fun time. They're really fun on set.
All right. And also, not only are you a talented actor, you're a talented musician.
Thank you.
How is it like juggling those two kind of careers?
Well, my acting, I've been into acting a lot longer than being a musician. I started guitar when I was probably in 8th grade, and I've moved gradually to the drums being my favorite instrument. So I think recently, last year is when me and my band, The Foes, put out an EP. And, it was hard because you have to juggle auditions a lot with going to record, and you have to spend like hours at a time recording to develop this. So, it was hard at the time, but of course it was worth it because I love both. And being a musician is just like something I've always loved doing. I love working on recording music and playing live, and it's almost like not that acting is ever like a job for me, but it is a nice break to go out there and do something else I love as well.
All right. And where can any fans follow you at?
Well, you can follow me on Facebook. My Facebook acting page is Parker Wierling -actor, or Twitter and Instagram at Parker Wierling.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on the podcast.
Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed both of those awesome interviews. Next week, we've got another great interview with you that's actually going to be a return guest. Who's that going to be, Alyssa?
It is Cullen Moss, who played Officer Gorman, creepy lollipop Officer Gorman.
Yes, the creepy lollipop cop is joining us for round 2, and we'll be talking The Walking Dead. Got a lot of great insight into acting, and he's going to talk about lollybombing us at Walker Stalker Con Orlando. So make sure you check into that. Now, if you haven't already, you can follow Creech Creative at Tumblr and Instagram at Creech Creative, Twitter at CJCNOV88, and Facebook at facebook.com/Creech Creative Productions. If anybody wants to follow you, which they should, where can they follow you at, Alyssa?
It is Alyssa TWD Walker on Facebook, and then my Twitter is Twitter at Alyssa Leanne.
Awesome, and we will see all of you, or talk to all of you, next week. But before we go, as I've been talking about on Facebook, here is our review of Gotham Season 2, Episode 1, and the series premiere of Scream Queens. Welcome, everybody, to our first review segment on Creech Questions. I am joined here by Brian Daniels.
Hi.
You may remember him as the co-host of Best Friends at the Movies.
Short-lived.
Which we haven't done. We only did for like 3 months. But now he's on this podcast.
Yay!
And we're reviewing a couple of highly anticipated episodes of some upcoming shows by Fox. As everybody knows, we are approved for press through Fox, so we do get to see the shows before they air, and we just finished Gotham Season 2, Episode 1, and Scream Queens, Episode 1 of Season 1, about 3 weeks before they are actually airing. So we're going to talk a little about the shows today. Obviously, this is a spoiler-free review, so we're not going to be reviewing any main plot points.
You'll have to watch.
You will have to watch to find out all the nitty-gritty. But I guess first we're going to start out with the 2-hour series premiere of Scream Queens. What did you think, Brian?
It started off, it like right off the back, it already gets you sort of hooked. I liked it. It blends the right amount of horror with the right amount of comedy. And
one of the creators of the show actually created both American Horror Story and Glee, and you can actually see definitely on this one a combination of both of those with the horror and comedy. And on another part that I noticed when I was watching, I really think this is going to do well with the tween crowd.
Definitely.
Because there's so many guest stars, or not even just guest stars, actors overall that are big in, and not just entertainment, but in the music scene. I mean,
like the one Jonas guy,
Nick Jonas, and Ariana Grande are both in it, and Abigail Breslin's in it.
Oh yeah, she is. Emma Roberts.
Emma Roberts.
She's just in her comfort zone in this.
Yeah. It does hook you from the very beginning, and it does have quite a few deaths. I mean, they don't hold back on this first episode. I don't know how long the season is going to be, but there's a pretty decent body count for a first episode in this.
Yeah.
There's also...
There's just the right amount of gore, I guess you can say. You know, for it being a horror / comedy based
on cable
television, it has the right amount of blood that says it's horror, but then, you know, like I said before, it blends in with comedy.
There's a lot of things moving in this episode, which is
let's say which characters are you already connecting with?
My favorite character is actually, there's a deaf character that is obsessed with Taylor Swift.
That, as bad as it sounds, we were laughing at a deaf girl.
Yes, there is a...
It's not mean, but it's just what she was saying. It was...
Yeah, it was...
It was so silly, you know, her being a, like, Taylor Swift super fan.
And you know what? I already got my favorite scene, probably, of the whole entire series out of the way, with hearing her sing "Shake It Off." I mean, just from that point on, the whole series was made for me, because it was just hilarious. Not because she was deaf, but just because, I mean, it was just she's just a really, like, she's played very well.
Yeah.
And it's not one of those where they use deaf to make fun of deaf people. It's not that at all. But, you know, her character has a hilarious sense of humor, and it's funny enough that she's just obsessed with Taylor Swift.
Who else is there? There's Jamie Lee Curtis. She's the Dean.
The Dean Munch.
Dean Munch.
Who they question her sexuality in this episode, but it's shown actually multiple times that she's definitely on the straight and narrow.
Straight and narrow, yeah. And it's sort of a small thing, but there's a whatchamacallit, security guard played by what's her
Niecy Nash.
Niecy Nash, a.k.a. Rainisha Williams for Reno 911. And when she's doing this security guard job, whatever, I just picture Rainisha Williams the whole time. I don't know why.
You know she's done a lot of stuff since then.
I know she has, but it's one of those things where she's a security guard, and then she was a cop in Reno 911. I know it's sort of silly to like that, but I liked it. Don't judge.
Now they touch on quite a few taboos in this episode. I do believe that when this comes out, there'll probably be some complaints from parents. I mean, it doesn't, for a cable show on Fox, it doesn't hold much back. I mean, they cover a lot of topics.
The very first thing it opens on is a pretty heavy, I guess you say, topic or subject.
That, and they touch on the gay issue.
They do, yeah.
They touch on race.
There's
a lot of heavy topics, but they're dealt with in such a lighthearted way that, I mean, I wasn't personally offended by anything.
As you can probably see in the previews, if you've watched the previews, they're trying to join this sorority, and you just got these different bunch of girls trying to join this one sorority, and yeah, you're just going to get different types of people. So then,
exactly, and this sorority is the apparent sorority to join.
The Alpha sorority.
Yes, it's a very exclusive group of females that runs a sorority, and they are all called Chanel.
Yeah.
And they're all obviously Chanel number one being the leader, Emma Roberts, and I believe they go up to at least four or five, because
they go up to 5.
Abigail Breslin is number 5, and I don't know why. I just remember that.
Ariana Grande was one of them.
Ariana Grande was 2,
and then 3.
3 and 4. I didn't really. They weren't any. I guess you could say name actors, but I mean they all did well, and I guess you could call the heroine of this story the new girl. I haven't seen her in anything. I don't know if she's been in anything prior.
No,
but she did a pretty good job, as did her dad, who looks really familiar. But I don't know what he's from currently. I do want to say that you're going to want to watch every single second. And I say that because throughout you will get some reminders to things that you've already seen. And
even in this first episode, there's already so many red herrings.
Yeah, and that's another thing I like. Usually shows like this, they establish who the bad or who the killer is.
Yeah.
But this one plays with the whole red herrings, where there's so many possible choices you could go on interpreting any scene, that the killer could be almost anybody. And not only that, it's self-aware enough where they call people out on certain aspects if they weren't there when something happened. It's very interesting. It's really good. And I don't know. At first, I thought the Red Devil character for the get-up for the killer looked kind of dumb.
It was like hokey.
It is hokey, but the reasoning they give you in this episode for why it makes a little more sense on why it looks like that. And I don't know. Personally, it did start to grow on me.
Yeah, it does. You know, at first you're like, really? But then it just grows. I just want to bring up another thing. There's a scene with Ariana Grande that is really, in my view, something you could see in like Scary Movie. I think it'll make you laugh, but it was making me dying laugh.
We were laughing our behinds off, and I know that's the scene was how it's supposed to play out. And it's hilarious. I actually was surprised. Ariana Grande's turned out to be a great actor.
Well, she was in that one show, iCarly.
I've never seen that
I've
show.
never seen it. I'm not...
So, I'm surprised you even know that, sir. So Brian here already is losing cool points on his first review.
I had to babysit kids.
Yeah,
they used to watch
we'll
it.
stick with that babysitter story, but I'm pretty sure that's not even true.
Shut up.
Overall, it's something you definitely should check out. I'm already hooked past the first episode, so I'm already anxiously awaiting episode 2.
All the characters they've already introduced, they already have their niches and whatnot that you know them for. So
yeah, I mean it's definitely gonna I think gonna be an amazing season, and I'm looking forward to episode 2. Like I just said. And honestly, make sure you watch the entire episode. You will not believe the ending. It's amazing. And I mean, and as it should be, it's the first epised, and it will leave you hooked.
And
you must.
There's a bunch of twists and turns.
There is a bunch of twists and turns, and I usually, watching so much TV and movies, I can guess where things are going. I have no clue where this could go. We'll go ahead and start talking about Gotham.
Gotham Season 2, Episode 1.
It picks up almost immediately after where we left off in Season 1. But things don't go as planned.
No, there's
a wall that these characters run into. I can't be any more specific than that, but
oh yeah.
It's almost literally a wall. We pick up then a little bit down the road, 1 month later, and things aren't going good for Officer, yes, I said Officer Gordon.
Yeah, different things have happened within that month, and Penguin's at a certain...
Well, yeah, we already know. They've revealed on the trailers, and also, and you know, you can see by the end of the episode, or season 1, Penguin's moved up the hierarchy and is now the king of Gotham.
He's the leader.
He's the leader. He's running the town. And with that being said, there is some changes, and he, once again, Robin Lord Taylor, just kills it as Penguin.
Yep.
I will say that out of the 2 episodes that we're reviewing today, Gotham had the goriest moment, which was kind of surprising to me, considering that Scream Queens was pretty, I guess you could say, brutal in and of itself. But you really can't top a guy using another guy's head as a puppet, a severed head at that, as a puppet. It seems to be, I mean, this is called, this season, with the tagline, Rise of the Villains. And there is a serious gathering of villains.
We're already starting to see...
That we're already starting to see at the, you know, in this episode.
There's more of the Jerome character.
Jerome.
We start to see more of him. Penguin.
Yeah, they really do touch on every single character that you saw last season. I feel like when you watch Gotham, especially with this episode, it's kind of like watching a chess game. And you can see that a lot of pawns are being moved into place and that there's about to be some serious moves going down. It's a very interesting character piece. Gordon is posed a very... Early on in the episode, he's posed a very, I guess you could say, dim question on what he will do to make the city right.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to do bad in order to achieve a greater good. And that question is posed to Gordon, and it's a very hard choice for him to figure out what he wants to do. I mean, especially considering where he's at in the episode. And, you know, he has to struggle with that to the point of even going to Bruce for advice, too, which is kind of weird. But, you know, I mean, he's struggling with it, and he does make his decision, which you'll have to wait to see. But I feel like it's going to be an amazing season. And I know you're like, oh, well, you said Scream Queens was amazing and Gotham was amazing.
They're both...
They legitimately are. This is not a PC, oh, they approved us for press, so we're just going to go ahead and say everything's amazing.
You know,
no.
if I got bored with part of the episode, I would say, hey, this part was sort of boring. And I really didn't get that. It was just event after a different event.
Exactly. And I will say everything seems to be coming together wonderfully for these 2 shows. And you can actually check out both of these shows soon enough. But Scream Queens is coming to you on Tuesday, September 22nd at 8/7 Central.
Which is it's a 2-hour premiere.
It is a 2-hour premiere. What they did was they combined the first 2 episodes to give you an amazing 2-hour series premiere that you are not going to want to miss. And now Gotham, on the other hand, the episode that we were just talking about, Damned If You Do, is the title of that one. Now that's coming to you a day before that on Monday, September 21st at 8/7 Central. So you're going to make sure you tune in, you DVR, do whatever you got to do. You need to check these shows out.
Check both of them out.
Because they're both amazing and you will enjoy both of them, I'm pretty sure, just as much as we did. Anyways, make sure you check out both of those, and we will talk to you next week about Gotham Episode 2 of Season 2. So thank you again, everybody, for listening, and we'll see you next time on Creech Questions.
Hey y'all, this is Lou Temple, Rick Nicotero,
Patty Moore,
T-Love, Eric Jensen,
Emma Bell,
Bing Chen for Vincent M. Ward, Jeff Cobra,
Jose Pablo Cantillo,
Danny Robot, Lawrence Gilliard Jr., Nestor Carbonell, Harold Parano, Daniel Thomas May, Alan Moss,
Sarah Wayne Callies,
Chad L. Coleman, I'm RJ May from Breaking Bad, Bates Motel,
AMC's Comic Book Man,
The Walking Dead, and you're listening to Creech Creech questions.
You better listen up good or I'm come get you.
Hey everyone out there, this is CJ Creech, and you too can listen to our celebrity interviews on our podcast, Creech Questions. Check us out on CreechCreativeProductions.com and Facebook.com/CreechCreativeProductions.